this is the first round of the social tournament of Empoli. This is the tournament of my chess club. It's unrated, so I can try, a lot of maybe wild and different opening. I can test something, definitely. And the first round, I'm playing against a kid rated 1000 FIDE, so it's not bad. And this game is certainly going to be really interesting, and it's going to show you how experience in tournament can make the difference. So I'm playing as white and I play d4 obviously. I'm trying to play different openings, but e4 is still e4, I'm not going to change that. If you saw my previous game, you know that in tournament I usually play, it's the opening that I'm playing for a while. I play just the Italian game, but now I'm trying to change because I don't really love the gioco pianissimo. So I'm trying to play the Vienna game. There is a problem though with the Vienna game that I absolutely don't know theory. I don't know theory. So playing this, it's a big risk because I can also go wrong in the opening. Now, it's a later, so I can do that, but in a normal tournament I wouldn't do that. I would study this before playing it because it's really risky. So my opponent played knight on c6, which is a move usually they can play knight on c6 or knight on f6. And at this point I just developed the bishop on c4, which is the main move. And he played knight on f6, which obviously makes sense. At this point I played d3, consolidating the structure, and I want to develop the bishop in the future. But before doing that, and is the point of the Vienna opening, I want to play f4. So my opponent plays bishop on c5, and bishop on c5 it's an annoying move. Especially if you don't know theory, it's going to be really tricky. And I decided to take f4 and take this risk. Now, I know for the fact that f4 is the best move in this position, but I don't know, after the knight gets in, I'm not so sure about what to do. My theory knowledge basically stopped now, and that's obviously a problem. And my opponent played d6, which still makes sense, and I play the best move, which is knight on f3. Obviously, it's a logical move. I still want to put pressure on this pawn, and I'm not going to cut so short. A plan is playing rook on f1. So my opponent played bishop on g4, and since this is a plan, I played rook on f1. Now, rook on f1 is a mistake. Rook on f1 is a mistake. It's just a bad move. Because after the castle is going to have a lot of pressure. And instead of doing that, the point of this opening, it's also to play knight on a4. I play knight on a4 and I play this knight for the bishop. Now, if you play a move like, I don't know, bishop on d4, I guess I just have c3. Yeah, my computer is... Yeah, I guess I just have c3. c3 you go back and then I take the bishop. But yeah, instead of doing that, I honestly didn't know the move and I played rook on f1. Now my opponent decided to take, which is a mistake, and now I can take with the rook and the queen, and I'm not sure what to take with. I have to figure out the difference. And in my mind, taking with the rook was better because I also had ideas of going, for example, on g3 with an h3, and I couldn't find any difference, so I played rook take on f3, which is a blunder. And after I played this move, I saw two moves, not even one, two moves that are really bad for me. So for this reason, I should have taken with the queen. So before watching this, if I take with the queen, yeah, he's going to play knight on d4. And after that, I thought about playing queen on d1. Apparently, the move is queen on g3. But you see, if you don't know theory, you're not going to play queen on g3. Because I'm losing a rook. It's not so simple, I will say. So yeah, I should really study this. And yeah, instead of doing this, just decided to take with the rook. But now comes knight on g4. And now I start to have a lot of problems. The computer is suggesting knight on d5. Knight on d5, I can't really explain it to you, because now you could also give me a check. Yeah, what if we play this exactly? King on d2. No, no, I'm not going to play this. No, I didn't even consider this. Because what I missed after this move is that, yeah, he has queen on h4 check. He also has bishop on f2 check, which is a problem. And I decided to play the second best move, which is bad. Which is rook on g3. Rook on g3 as a point. I'm attacking your knight two different ways. So let's say, even if you play something like this, I'm just going to take the knight. And the other point is that this is not a check. But the problem is that he can check me on f2 and win the rook. And that's where the experience comes though. Because my opponent is playing pretty fast. He's also nervous. And yeah, he plays bishop on f2 check. Which, I mean, it's a move that I saw. And when I started playing tournament in this position, which by the way, at the time I thought it was lost for me. It's actually equal. Yeah, you will see why. But at the time I thought I was much worse. But this is not my first tournament. Finally now when I make a mistake, yes, I mean, I'm mad at myself, but I still keep being focused and I still trying to win. And that's the point. If I made a mistake in my first tournament, I will just be pissed off and keep playing bad. But it's not like this now. And another mistake that my opponent is doing is like being 100% sure that you are winning, because he's also playing really fast. After I played this, he just took the rook in like 10-15 seconds, and he has more than 40 minutes in the clock and I have less than 30. Now, in this position, I probably wouldn't have taken the rook. No, he decided to take the rook. But taking the rook, if you think about it, it's a mistake. I would have played pawn on h5 and then maybe take the rook. I mean, after that I can move the rook. So this move is not so good. And what you should do in a position like this is take a lot of time, because if this is winning and you play the right move, you just win the game basically. So you have to take a lot of time and try to find the best move. He played too fast and he played the wrong move. He just decided to take the rook. And now I am the one who is much better actually. I think he missed the fact that I don't have to take the bishop. I can just take the knight. And that's a problem. Because now your bishop is under attack, you have to move it somewhere. But after you do that, what about this pawn? Queen take on g7. And guess what? This is under attack and the knight is coming. This is a really difficult position for you. Now, in this position I saw a move which I thought was, I mean, at least decent for black, which is queen on f6. After queen on f6, the move that I considered, and the only move I considered, was basically this. So bishop on f7 as a point. Obviously you can take with the king, it's illegal, and if you take with the queen I just win the rook. So I will be up 2 pawns. And let's say you play king on e7. Oh yeah, and there is a knight check. So yeah, you can do that. So let's say, well, I don't know, it's saying king on d8. I mean, I thought I was better, which is true. I mean, obviously, I'm up 2 pawns and downing is change, but this position is really bad for black and it's really difficult to defend. So yeah, it makes sense. But at this point, my opponent played a really wide move. And that's why I'm talking about experience. Because in this position, he still keep playing fast. And played king on d7. And I saw that he was really pissed off. And that was his mistake during all the game. It was really pissed off. He wasn't really thinking about the game. And that's the worst mistake you can do. Because if you get beat at a psychological level, you just lose the game. If you're not focused, it's over. Yeah, he played this move, which is pretty bad. Now, since I knew this was winning for me, I took a lot of time to think. Like, I took 10-15 minutes probably. And in this position I thought about a lot of stuff, like a lot. One thing I thought about, which was kinda crazy, was playing bishop on e6. Bishop on e6, if king take, I have this check, I guess. Yeah, queen on g4 check. And then I win the bishop. Well, I don't know what's going on, but... Well, computer is not working really well today. Maybe it's my internet. But yeah. And I mean, I win the piece back because you had to go on a dark square, and we see. Now, I decided not to play this because I'm basically trading a piece. I didn't see the win. Now, apart from that, I thought about playing something like g3 and something else. I thought about bishop take and queen take. Now, I wasn't sure about bishop take because there is this. Wasn't sure about this at all. Yeah, I just missed the fact that I have knight on d5. So yeah, that's still a good move. Although after this, there is still king on c8. So I didn't see why this move would have been better than just taking with the queen. So I thought was better taking with the queen. And the other move that I thought was winning, so I spent a lot of time thinking about it, is queen on g4. Queen on g4 is the best move. And I had the feeling that that was the best move. And makes sense because it's the only move that prevents the king from going on c8, so it just has to go back. You don't really want to play this because then the knight gets in, so it just has to go back. But I didn't see the win. At this point I didn't see the win. I was like, well, if I play queen on f5, he can just defend. And I didn't see the win. He can just play rook on f8. And I mean, I'm right. Because remember, still down in exchange. And I can't castle, so I need to be careful. It's not that simple though. And yeah, I thought a lot about this, but I missed the fact that I have queen on h5. And queen on h5 wins. Queen on h5 wins because after you play move like rook on f8, I have f5. And the bishop is getting in, and that's the difference basically. And also, if you play something like... Oh wait, let's say play a random move now. If you play something like this, I have ideas of queen on f5, for example. So yeah, that's what I missed. And since I wasn't able to find the win in that line, I decided to play this safely and to take the pawn. Which is imprecise, but I mean, it's still +4. Like, it's not losing. And now I have g3 or f5. I thought g3 was better. Just gain a time and then I play f5. So g3 attacks the bishop. Just to go back somewhere. And the point is that attacking the bishop, it has to go into a square where it is a target. This or this is going to be a target. So my opponent needs to be careful. And I still have a check. You don't know, maybe that will work in the future. And yeah, my opponent is keeping playing wide moves, honestly. He played bishop on f6. Now, bishop on f6 is bad. Bishop on f6 is bad, and he missed that I can just play knight on d5. And now your bishop is hanging 2 times. So instead of doing that, you just have to play bishop on e7, obviously. And yeah, and he plays bishop on e7 now, which again, it's another bad move. At this point, you want to play rook on f8, defending the bishop. Your position is pretty bad, but at least it's not so passive. At least you're using the rook. Yeah, this move is really bad, honestly. So in this position, I play the best move, which is f5. And f5 makes sense because in the future, I'm threatening to play f6 and clapping the bishop. So it's a really good move. And also, I close this file, which is important because my king is on this file. And there is also queen, so I need to be careful. It's not as simple. And my opponent kept playing wide moves. And I can't explain the next move, honestly. He played h6. h6, honestly, I can't really explain it. Can't really explain. Like, doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. You are just wasting a full time, basically, in a position which is really difficult for you to play. And now I have f6, but after you play f6, he has rook on f8. And I didn't see the win. So apparently there is, he's saying take. Yeah, but if knight take. Okay, bishop on e6, but still. And queen g7 now. So you basically wait. And the thing is dead loss. Yeah, makes sense. But yeah, I didn't think about that, like, well, that position looks like it's dead lost. So I thought about it differently. And I thought that after rook on f8, I felt like I had some problem, because obviously if I take knight take, I can't take with the queen because queen take and I can't take back. That was the problem. Also, I saw a really cool line. If at this point you take with the bishop, I take not with the queen, because if I take with the queen I get pinned. I take with the knight. You still threaten this. But at this point, if you play this, I actually have check. The king has to move. And I can sacrifice the queen. Queen... Wait, what? Why is this bad? Ah! The knight is pinned. Luckily it didn't went like that. That would have been funny. Not for me. Not for me. So, since rook on f8 is kind of a problem, I decided to play king on g2, which is still a good move. I think it's actually a pretty good move. Just pinning for the future for every problem I'm going to have. Also, the king on g2 is pretty safe, I have to say. There is no problem. Yeah, now rook on f8. Apparently, still knight takes on e7 with this idea works. Or with queen on g7. Just decided to play queen on g6. I mean, in my mind made sense. It's not a bad move. And now I played another really bad move. Knight attacked the bishop. And again, he was really pissed off. He kept shaking his head. Well, you lose the game where you basically decide it's over. If you keep saying in your mind, it's over, I played bad, I'm bad, or something like this, you are obviously going to lose. Because you're not thinking about the game, you're thinking about something else. And that's what I mean with experience. And that's really important, guys. If you play a tournament, you need to remember this. Okay? Never resign mentally. So I played this move. And now you lose a piece. You just lose a piece. And I mean, now is dead lost. He defends with the queen. I can just take, obviously, with the knight. Knight check. King on d8 is the only move, otherwise you just lose a queen too. And now I'm really happy about the next move. I played another really good move. Yeah, sorry kid, but... Yeah, knight on g6. And knight on g6 is really strong because after you take, I take with the bishop. The rook is still hanging. This is hanging. The rook might also be trapped. Probably not. Wait, actually it is. Queen take, I take. This is the only move, I guess. And now the rook is trapped, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's some good stuff. But instead of doing that, my opponent played rook on e8, which is really wrong. And after queen on f6 check, like, what can you do? He played this, bishop on e6. The only move you have is sacrificing the rook. Now, again, because you see, I'm winning, but I'm not just blitzing the moves. I'm trying to find the best move. And that's how you can't lose. And that's how you are not going to lose, like never. And that's the thing I learned from my last tournament. So I'm saying this because I played some tournament and now I starting to understand how it works. If you play fast move, you can just give your advantage away. At this point, I'm still thinking, I'm still taking my time, I'm still taking minutes to think in order to find the best move, in order that my opponent has literally zero chance. Literally zero. Now, a lot of you guys will take with the queen. Because you trade queens. But this actually gives your opponent some hope. Instead of doing that, there is a much better move that absolutely demolish black position, which is pawn take. Pawn take is such a good move because, first of all, I'm threatening mate. I mean, if you move the queen, this is mate. Simple as that. So you need to play queen on e8. The fact that this pawn is really close to queening, and I can play queen on f7. You can't take because I make a queen, and you can't prevent that. Let's say take, king goes there. I mean, just make a queen, you need to sacrifice the rook. At that point, is a knight against the bishop and the rook. I guess I can win it. And I also have some pawns, I believe. So, for this reason, my opponent played king on d8 in this position. And I actually have bishop on g5. Bishop on g5. Bishop on g5 is crazy. Bishop on g5, h take, queen take, king move, and you can't stop this. You can't prevent the rook on f. Wow, that's brilliant. Yeah, I didn't consider that. I was like, well, I can't play this. I really would like to play this, so I just take this pawn, and I'm planning to play this. And this move makes sense because this is basically mate. This is basically mate. And yeah, my opponent played knight on c6 again. He played this really quickly. And now it's just force mate. Bishop check. You don't want to cover with the queen, so he decided to cover with the knight. I took the knight and my opponent resigned. Now, if you take with the queen, I just take king move and then mate. As simple as that. And if instead, after this, you just move, I take the queen and it's mate. So it's unstoppable mate. Now, what can I say about this game? First of all, you can see the importance of experience. And it's not only experience in tournament, but it's also experience in the opening. Because I played an opening that I just played a few times online without knowing theory, and that's the problem. If I play this stuff against a strong player, I'm just going to get destroyed. Because at a certain point I was -2 in a classical game. I mean, if I play against a candidate master probably with -2, I mean, I can gain the advantage back. I mean, I maybe can equalize, it happened. But it's going to be pretty hard. Like, it's not obviously lost, but I'm going to be punished and suffering for the rest of the game. But yeah, I can do this now because it's unrated, but next time I really need to study this opening. But yeah, this is my first win of the tournament. I'm going to play a game every week of this tournament. Just like this, we play every Friday. And the next opponent is actually my friend. We're basically just rivals. So it's going to be interesting. I might even prep. I really want to win this game. So yeah, that's it for today guys, and see you with the next video.